Whispers of sacred sleep drifted through the air, carrying with them the weight of untold secrets and ancient dreams. The very fabric of reality seemed to tremble, as if aware of the profound truths that lay just beyond the veil of consciousness.
Your intuition serves you well. The masses are restless. I hear tales of a movement, this notion of sacred sleep. It seems to be spreading.
Her eyes glimmered with something unreadable.
It's becoming more of a movement than anyone had anticipated.
Yes, do tell me of this.
She replied, her voice calm but edged with something deeper.
It's not merely about sleep itself. It's the minds and fears of their children. They would simply like to promise them safety and peace. Like a mother bear protects her young. That seems to rally them. Concerns about faith, family, survival. They've grown tired of sleepless nights and constant fear. Waiting, worrying, wondering what will bring the wrath of the next attack, and why. This notion gives them strength, unity even. They are reserved and resolute, ready to fight. They discuss strategies and tactics at these gatherings, things of course that have and have not worked. They will amass to address the dragons.
Unity, Talthibia repeated, her gaze intensifying, probing deeper. Lifting the wine, she studied it a moment, then placed it back on the tray untouched. An uprising, you mean? And what are you giving them, Escus? Inspiration, reason, fuel for the fire?
The weight of her question pressed heavily the demand behind it, subtle but unmistakable. Guidance, he said carefully, choosing each word with care. Something to keep their lofty ambitions in line with what they can actually manage.
And you feel this is good?
Our influence is powerful, Lady Talthibia. Their faith shapes how they see the world, what they see for the future of their precious souls. I merely challenge them to ask the right questions about what they believe does and does not please the gods, and how are they able to gauge or measure the difference. I ask them at each meeting. How is it that they've become so bold that they now think their thoughts, actions, and desires can sway the will of these gods? Many answer with emboldened pleas, and I challenge them to show me the evidence. Show me how what they beg of the gods produces anything in their daily lives.
They are children in the dark then, reaching for the light. A hero, someone to guide them, and they look to you for these answers. It's a delicate balance, Escus. With every flicker of hope you ignite, you risk drawing the attention of those who would snuff it out.
It was a statement, but somehow also felt like a threat.
I tread carefully. My intent is to guide them, not to lead them against their doom. I am no longer a soldier, and I'm no warrior. I serve my country, but now my time is done. I serve my people now in a different way.
But to provide hope in their ignorance can be as dangerous as the dragons themselves.
There are forces at play that you cannot begin to fathom.
And if they misinterpret your guidance, she pressed, her tone sharpening, do they not believe they can be made invincible by faith alone? You know, hope can be a double-edged sword.
He met her gaze, unflinching. These things you say may have truth, but understand I cannot control how they interpret words. Any words, let alone mine. All anyone can do is try to illuminate a path if it's darkened. Give them a way to ask the questions that they really need answers to. How they see themselves. Do they choose the sword or not? That would be their folly, not ours. Yours or mine, I know all about the differences. As I've explained before, I am but a mirror. At times, I have no choice but to reflect their fears or show them their ambition. But I am that mirror, and I do show them, no matter how painful the image.
She did not like that, and it was obvious.
A mirror can crack or be easily broken, she countered, her voice low and steady. There will be a time, and they will come, and they will face the dragons. I wonder then, will they see their reflection, or will they find only loss and despair?
He quickly retorted, "Look at the suffering that is their lives. Do you see them choosing despair? Despair is but a choice, as is hope. They choose courage and family every day, foolish or not."
We have both seen how despair will paralyze an entire nation, even with hope in abundance. You know how this confusion breeds inaction.
At the same time, I've seen it export courage.
Courage without wisdom is reckless. Often you find yourself fanning a flame that can consume those, even yourself, with this desire to protect and enlighten. You told me once you would like the role of a guide. Don't provoke. It's not wise to stoke the fires of rebellion without understanding the consequences, especially among such fools.
He considered her words, nodding slowly. There are too many who will not remain silent in the face of these constant struggles. Please don't ask me to turn my back to them and ignore their questions. Many are good. I fought for this nation. Please don't expect me to betray it as well. He went back to his cup, looking at Diodora, who smiled at him encouragingly. Feeling more emboldened, he pushed further. It is not our role, duty, or responsibility to challenge their beliefs, Lady Talthibia. That is their choice alone. If fear is all they know, how can they ever grow? Will any of them ever see this world as it is, and for what it truly is?
And what is that exactly? Perhaps it is you who do not see. She straightened. You speak of growth, of mirrors, paths, and symbols, but it sounds more to me like a fool's dance. Do you ask them to leap into the unknown?
Fear is a natural instinct, but it can also be a chain. Who has the right to bind them with it? Who gives them the tools to navigate their own paths, to weigh their own risks, make their own decisions? If they fail, it's a lesson that they learn. Each stumble teaches them about the ground beneath their feet, the nature of existence.
How many lessons do they need before they see what they wanted to? Many lessons come at a steep price, she warned, the warmth completely faded from her expression. And who would be there to catch them when they fall? You haven't as many arms.
Then I must trust that they have the strength to pick themselves up, to rise again, as we all have to find our own strength. A hint of vulnerability crept into his voice. Do you not have your own battles to fight? I do not ask you to fight mine. You do not ask me to fight yours. But for them, should we not offer guidance? Should we not help? Is it not you that plants the seeds of thought that might one day bloom into my understanding? Aeschylus stopped himself from saying anything further, knowing he may have already gone too far already.
These seeds could become many things. Perhaps they will grow into weeds. What can we do when those weeds overtake the gardens, the beautiful places that we intended? Too many fools and not enough wise men.
That will always be the way of things. They help themselves, and we in turn, in our ways, help them. They tend the garden, and they do so out of love, not out of fear. Many do it out of sheer necessity, not knowing what else. I remind them that this growth requires their attention and constant care. Everything is a process that demands vigilance if you want a sweet fruit.
Just make sure you see it clearly, she warned.
I understand that to guide is to accept the burden.
You call it responsibility. You say you no longer have the heart of a soldier, yet you carry the weight for them. They have faith, and that faith they bear on their shoulders. They chose the path. They trip.
But do they? Who understands greater the risk? My lady, I do not let fear dictate my actions. I see this world, and yes, there is uncertainty, and danger lurks around every corner. No one doubts their faith. When faith is all they have, no one lets their doubts overshadow their hopes, least of all myself. Their faith gives them promise of a life after this one without misery, without pain, without suffering, where they can sleep and eat finally.
There are things that change, and things that don't. There are paths we tread every day, and those which should never place a foot upon, Aeschylus. This path you have begun down is fraught with sorrow and unending shadows. Even if you could succeed in guiding them, they would find a way of straying from the light or losing the path. This I have seen too many times. It is not for everyone to see everything. Some are better at creating the path for others. They yearn to be led, preferring to blame everyone else or their gods for their lot or fate.
All the more reason to let them choose their own fate.
Silence hung in the air, heavy with the weight of unspoken truths. Escus shifted slightly, his mind racing through possibilities. The delicate dance of power and knowledge left him acutely aware of the precariousness of their positions. In that moment, the echoes of their conversation intertwined with the soft rustle of fabric and the distant murmurs of the villa. Outside, the world thrummed with the pulse of life and fear, unaware of the intricate web of their lives being woven within such unassuming walls. Escus reseated himself further away from Talthibia, her expression all-encompassing, taking in his every gesture, each pause in his speech. Her posture was still as granite, her gaze both stern and discerning, as she was piecing together more than his words alone.
So I see you did thoroughly read and study the scripts that I sent for you. Very good.
The faintest smirk flickered across Escus's face, his tone filled with a slight edge of the childish mischief that she alone still brought out of him somehow. He rolled his neck, almost as if daring her to question his dedication. "And did you not expect that I would take the lessons to heart? My lady, for surely you can see that I did. If you did not want me to feel emboldened by such passion, please, why put them before me?"
Talthibia's expression remained unchanged, though the faintest change in her eyes might suggest a heightened intensity, something unspoken, that she was both challenging him to recognize and daring him to confront directly. His mind raced to the new arrival, Orsinia, and the fact she had not spoken her name specifically. She paused, seeming to weigh the depth of response before her voice resonated, smooth and unwavering as a lullaby or calming spell.
There is an old tale, one often repeated. I've seen it more often than not performed in puppet shows. Her tone seemed reflective, calculating, each word a stepping stone, leading Escus into a conversation he did not expect to delve so deeply into. The young men, older than children though, are the ones flocking to it. Perhaps you know the one I speak of.
Escus leaned back, searching for a hint of her deeper intentions. He took a thoughtful sip from his cup, his eyes narrowing with a spark of recognition. "Yes, the story of the man with the scarred face. Is that the one you make reference to?